Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sophisticated Press. Let's talk about your book. I'm going to give you a few moments to come in because we have a special guest today that I want you to make sure you hear and make sure you don't miss. For those tuning in this morning, I am Bernetta Gunn Stevens, CEO of Sophisticated Press. I'm also the author of four published books: Kingdom Speaking in the Boardroom, A Dad's Redemption, 10 ways to eliminate debt by writing, and then also push, promote until shipping and handling happens. So do me a favor when you come in, tag and share all your business besties, tag and share all your fellow authors, and say hello to us today and let us know what state you are tuning in from. So without further ado, as you can see, we have a special guest today, and her name is Tamikca Dixon, known as Tamikca Nichole. And I'm going
Good
to have her
morning.
introduce herself this morning. Welcome, Tamikca.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here. Good morning, everyone. I hope that you all are doing well and that you're having a great morning in this pandemic.
Yes, yes, yes. So, how has your week been going so far?
My week has been busy. I am starting to do my follow up to Fantasy Fulfilled. So
Hmm.
I'm in my writing labs every morning. So for everyone that's pressuring me for the next book, I'm working on it and it'll be there soon.
Awesome. I love it. Already working on book number two. So, tell
Yes.
us about who Tamikca Nichole is. Introduce yourself to us. Let us know where you're from and any other thing you want us to know about yourself.
I am I'm from Chicago
Boo
and
boo.
I yeah, woo woo, Chi-town.
Yes.
I am from Chicago and I
Hmm.
am a South Sider urban fiction writer. And
Hmm.
that I have a husband, I have four children. I have been so busy, but writing has always been my passion, and so
Hmm.
has journaling. So I'm just now getting to a point in my life that I'm able to express what I love to do, and I'm having the time of my life. Even in the midst of a pandemic, I am having the time of my life.
I love that you said that because some people have just, kind of written off life because we're in the middle of a pandemic. But then
Yes,
there's others who are soaring and who are saying, in the middle of this crisis, I will be creative. I will still produce. I will still go forth. So I'm so glad that you are one of those people
I
who,
am.
in the middle of the pandemic, you're still publishing books. You're still being productive. I love it. Sorry if you all are hearing feedback. I'm going to try to make sure and we eliminate that. So I have a question for you. Well, what's the title of your book again?
The title of my book is Fantasy Fulfilled. It's a shameless plug, but I definitely will plug
I
myself.
know that's right.
The title
Yes.
of my book is Fantasy Fulfilled. It is a love story. It
Mhm.
chronicles the life of my main character. Her name is Nikki, and
Mhm.
she's a African American young woman who has a burgeoning career and a
Mhm.
marriage that she's not so happy with
Mhm.
when the book begins, but she finds love in a very unexpected and unconventional way.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. I love it. And your book is a page turner. It's funny because, of course, I'm a self-publishing coach and I help everyone publish their books, but I get to read the manuscripts. And your book, Fantasy Fulfilled, was one of the books that was like a page turner. I was like, oh my God, this story is so good. So I can't wait to people purchase the book, more people, because people are already purchasing it, but
Yes,
more people know about this story. And I love the cover.
I love the cover. The cover is one of my favorite things ever.
Yes.
The artist,
So Tamikca, do me a favor. Let's try. Can you hear me, Tamikca? Let's try taking your headphones off because I think they're going in and out. And let me see if I can hear you.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's better. Okay, great, great, great. So let's get into the interview. I want to know, did you ever feel unqualified to write a book?
Yes, I did. I think that as a writer, I started with journaling
Mm-hmm.
in my younger years. So I always felt that my thoughts were very private but
Mm-hmm.
very good. And I would find myself going back to read my own books.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Pat, good morning. I would find myself going back to read my own books. I would find myself going back to read the things that I've written, prayer journals, and just about my
Mm-hmm.
life. And I would think that they were great reads.
Mm-hmm.
So I would share them with my best friend, and she would tell me like, "Oh, we're onto something here. I think that we're
Mm-hmm.
going to, that you're a great writer and that you could write a book. You should write books." And I'm kind
Yeah.
of thinking, no, this is just something that I do for fun. But every time that I would go back to my own work, I would always find something new and get excited about reading
Mm-hmm.
my own work. So that's
Yeah.
kind of how it began for me.
Awesome. Now, are you the only author in your family, published author?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, I am
wow.
the only published author in my family, and I have a lot of stories to tell. My
Mm-hmm.
family is very happy, very proud
Good.
of me and of my work and what I've done, and I'm very grateful for their support.
Awesome. Now, was there ever a time that you had negative self-talk going on in your brain that was saying like, "Oh, you can't do this"? And if there were, how did you overcome that negative self-talk?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, good morning, Sally. I see you too. There was plenty of negative self-talk. When you're going through this process, you really have to stay focused on what it is that you're trying to accomplish because the
Mm-hmm.
voices will tell you that your book isn't going to sell, that it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to do well. You have to always be in touch with the reason that you do this in the first
Yes.
place so that
Mm-hmm.
you will have that motivation to get going. You
Yes.
do have to invest in yourself, and for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, they find it difficult to invest in themselves and to invest back into what they're doing. So you'll
Yeah.
find yourself making so many excuses on why you
Mm-hmm.
can't pay for it, or why
Yeah.
you can't have time. You really have to just get in touch with yourself as an
Yes.
individual and as an author and buckle down and push through so that you can get to this space. And once you do, it's so freeing. I want to do it
Yes.
over and over and over again.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that you said get going because a lot of people, and including myself, because I was, I'm an author as well as publisher. But yeah, we do have these books in our bellies and our notepads and
Yes,
our USBs for years, right?
yes,
And then we have to get going. We have to be able to make that decision. But more importantly, after you make the decision, you're going to publish your book, then you have to also invest, right?
yes,
One of the things that Sophisticated Press has here is we do have payment plans, you all. And so that's what a lot of our authors like about our company is we allow you to break down the payment and the investment. But even before we get to the payment plan, you have to mentally tell yourself, I'm worth it. My
yes.
story is worth it, right? Because what we need to understand about books, they're so powerful and they change lives and they inspire so many other people. So tell me about some times when people have told you because they seen you finish this project, how motivated they were to even
So
finish something they're doing.
so many times I've had
Mhm.
so many of my friends just to tell me how proud of me that they were, but
Mhm.
beyond that, they
Yeah.
are reaching towards writing their own manuscripts. They are
Yes.
reaching towards starting their own businesses.
Yes.
A lot of people are beginning to take ownership and become entrepreneurs. So it's
Mhm.
just really inspiring and motivating when you realize that we have power, we can do whatever we want. I love it.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, why did you choose Sophisticated Press?
So this is a really great story, and it's a true story. I don't know if she's watching this morning, but I do have a friend, Miss Chippy. She sells the most
Yes.
amazing cookies in the world.
Yes, she
And
does.
one day she came by my house, and I was teasing her. We've been friends forever, and she's known about this book forever. And
Mm-hmm.
she finally said, she said, "Well, what's going on with your book?" And I was like, the same thing that's always going on with it. It was literally just sitting here and collecting dust. And
Mm-hmm.
she said, "I would like to introduce you to my friend, Renetta Gunn Stevens, and she has her
Mm-hmm.
own publishing company." So
Yes.
she just gave me the name Sophisticated Press, and I went on there to
Mm-hmm.
do my own research before I even set
Yeah.
up for my discovery call. And what
Yes.
I found was that, Sophisticated Press, I felt was the company to work for me because we had the same ideas in mind when it comes to writing and when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to authoring and authoring your own books and even self-publishing, which has
Yes.
been something that I've been praying about lately so that we can have our own voice. And
Yes.
when we met, the rest was history. I just felt like God had opened a huge door for me and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want the opportunity to pass. So I'm very grateful for
Yes.
Sophisticated Press. Renetta is approachable, down to earth. She loves God. She loves what she does. And
Yes, I
she loves
do.
to help other people to realize their dreams. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
proof of that. I'm sitting right here, y'all.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for those kind words. And Sophisticated Press, definitely, we love Nichole Johnson, Miss Chippy,
Yeah.
and we. It's always good when other people refer you because you can always say like, "Oh, I'll take good care of you. I'll make sure that we don't, have stakes in your story. I'll make sure you'll be 100% owner of your intellectual content." But it's another thing when somebody else can refer you and you know that that person is solid, and so if they're
Yes.
referring you, you like, okay, this must be a good company. So I love it. And I just do remember our first call and how, we got on that call with a dream and a goal and we
Yes.
worked together. And in the end, we had fantasy fulfilled.
Can
This
you believe it?
I
It's a fantastic book. Like, this is really real.
Yes, 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 yes. And so, through it all, because let's be honest with the people, writing a book does take focus, right?
Yes.
It does take dedication, and there are times when there is something better or something different that you can do with your money. But if you invest in yourself, now you have this book to leave for generations. Now you
Yes.
have this book that can possibly be a movie, a short film, all type of possibilities. Was it worth the investment?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like I got so much for my investment. Just to have my own intellectual property that's mine, my
Yes,
own copyrights that's mine, the
yes.
ability to do whatever it is that I want to do with the book. If I would like to venture off into short film, that's
Mm-hmm.
just some opportunities that have further opened up for me in this
Mm-hmm.
process that I didn't even see coming. So you essentially get way more than what you invest. You get a
Yes.
hundred times more than your initial investment. You do.
A- Absolutely. And that's so true. And that's what I really love about those who do take that leap of faith and say, you know what, this is the last year that I'm going to have this book in my mind, in my notebook, in my USB, because books will outlive us.
They will.
And sometimes, like I told people, okay, maybe your book may not become a bestseller until after we gone, but at least you have it. But most times, if you promote it the right way, which that's why we created the book Push, Promote Until Shipping and Handling Happens, you can make money as an author. And some people will say, well, it's no money in writing. But I'm gonna ask you personally, have you made money?
Absolutely. And I'm still making money.
Did you see how quickly she answered that? So I want you all to understand that the quickest way to add an additional stream of income is to make the investment and tell your story. Share your
Yes,
expertise through a book. It just books changed my life, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because once I published my first book, and then once I became a publisher, my life has never been the same. And so I'm just glad that now you are experiencing it, and the people that will follow you will be able to experience the same thing. Now, tell us about why we should, well, other people, because I already got my copy. Why should they buy Fantasy Fulfilled?
to be honest with you, at the end of the day, it is just a great read. It
Yes,
is
it
a
is.
very inspirational story, and it talks about love from my perspective as a middle-aged Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exciting. And I can't
Yeah,
remember like the last time that I picked up a book and was able to read it from cover to cover. And
yeah.
even my own book, y'all, I still read it over and
Mm-hmm.
over and over
Yes.
again. I do have a couple of my VIPs, my fans, that
Mm-hmm.
they cannot put it down. They cannot put
Yeah.
it down. They will continue to read it. So it's
Yes.
just, it gets you excited. It gets you excited about life. And even in the midst of this pandemic where we have so much negativity going on in the
Mm-hmm.
media, if you live in Chicago, in our city, just with the levels of violence, with the levels of non-caring that are going on, books give you just that short break that you get to
Yes.
take to yourself and kind of escape, into a place, a wonderland, like in your head.
Yes.
If even if it's just for a moment, it gives you that release. And Fantasy
Mm-hmm.
Fulfilled does that. It does that for people. It makes people feel really good to read it and feel really good to be Black
Mm-hmm.
and feel really good to love and to
Yes.
participate in Black love. So Fantasy Fulfilled
Yes.
does all of those things. And I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of my piece and I'm proud
Mm-hmm.
of myself.
Yes, you should be proud of yourself, and we are proud of you too. And what I love about it is how you said that a few good things you said. Books does take you on many vacations, right? And it
Yes,
just lets you just kind of just unplug from your daily activities and your daily responsibilities and just go to a place, right? And you definitely take them to a place in Fantasy Fulfilled. But I also love that you said that it's a story about Black love, because so many times we put the obligation on other races and other people to share our culture. And I'm a
absolutely.
true believer that only we can really authentically represent our culture. And one of the
Yes,
ways that we can do that is by telling our story and sharing our culture through books, because
yes,
really everything in the world is ruled by words, right? Books are just the beginning of, like we said, movies and short films and documentaries. And so if the African American community do not tell their story, then others will tell their story. And that's why there's a lot of misrepresentation for
I
our
agree.
culture, because we have to begin to constantly step up and take ownership. And so that's another thing that we wanted to do here at Sophisticated Press. We want to make sure that publishing is approachable and accessible, but then affordable. So that way we as a people can afford to start telling our stories. So, how can people get a hold of Fantasy Fulfilled? How can they get this in their hands?
You can get you can get a copy of Fantasy Fulfilled in your hands. You can reach me through my Facebook page, which is Nichole Tamikca. It's Nichole Tamikca. You can also purchase the book through my PayPal. That's going to be paypal.me/Tamikca Dixon1. That's Tamikca Dixon and the number one. And you
Yeah.
can also get it through Cash App, which is the $ Tamikca and Dixon. And that is Tamikca, the letter N as in Nicole, Dixon. So those are ways that you can definitely get fantasy fulfilled. We are still diligently working to get on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So
Hmm.
that will be coming very soon in the future, and I will let you guys know when it is available for purchase in that marketplace.
Absolutely. Now, before we go, is there any questions, you all? A lot of times with information, it's always best for you to ask questions because we don't really know the questions that you may have. So, you have a publisher live and you have an author live. So, are there any questions from our audience that we can answer for you about your personal journey or about Tamikca's journey of writing a book? And that way, when you leave this live in this interview, you'll feel motivated to dust that notebook off, get those
Yes,
recipes that Grandma Big Ma had, get those poems that you got in your notebook, get that story off your USB for some waterfall on it, and it's gone forever, and put it in print. So, do we have any questions from our audience today? And we'll just wait a few moments for that.
we'll wait a few minutes. And while we're waiting, thank you to all of my VIPs. I did see you guys on this live. I love you guys, and you can ask me anything.
Yes. So we have a question from Gabrielle. Gabrielle, she says, "Can I read your book for Audible?"
I don't have Audible yet, Diva, and good morning to you, beautiful. I don't have Audible yet, but that is something that I have been thinking about for the horizon. And I'm
Hmm.
looking to see if I'll be able to provide something like that towards the fall season. So look forward to that. But yes, Audible is on my radar to do.
Awesome question. And we have a question from Aisha says, "Have you ever experienced writer's block?"
Yes, Aisha. Good
Hmm.
morning to you, sweetheart. Yes, I have experienced writer's block. When you're going through something in life that's very emotional or
Hmm.
traumatizing, you do have these moments that you find it really hard to get in touch with your creative self.
Hmm.
So I have a routine that I do every morning that includes prayer and it includes yoga as well. And that really helps me to stay centered so that I can be inspired creatively and then I can translate that to the page. But yes, writer's block is very real. If you have a lot of stress going on in your life, it's really hard to write. But I do find that when I have that short routine, that helps me to keep my creativity flowing.
Yeah, and that's a great question. I would just like to say too, with writer's block, sometimes you could be writing at the wrong time of the day. So we had a question the other day, like, are you writing? Are you a morning writer or a night writer? And it's very important to find out if you're a morning or night writer. Also, get you a cozy section of the house that's just for writing. So when you go there, you're literally telling your brain, okay, I'm disconnecting from work, I'm disconnecting from everything else, and this is my writing corner. So,
Yes,
like for me personally, what I do when it's time to write, I love smell goods. So I have, some room sprays that I'll spray, and I'll just put on some music, some worship music. And so, whatever your routine is definitely okay, but you should have a routine for writing because it
yes,
literally does say to your brain, okay, now it's time to write. And I would just also say, if your home is busy, then maybe find a cozy cafe to go and write at. Because sometimes we have kids at home, we have the bay at home, and so have a writing schedule. Tell your family and friends about your writing schedule. And then if you need to leave home or go into the car, whatever you need to do, make sure that your writing spot is cozy so that way it'll be comfortable for your creativity to flow. Great question, Aisha. Are there any other questions for a publisher or our featured guest, Miss Tamikca Nichole? Those were two great questions, but routine is definitely key. I think routine is key in anything we do. We have to kind
yes,
of just have that regimen.
you do. You do,
Yeah,
and you have to like get in touch with the discipline. It's a discipline.
yes, it is. It definitely is a discipline. Yes, yes, yes. Well, if there's no other questions, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in today. I want to thank our special guest, Tamikca Nichole, for sharing her
Thank
journey
you.
of becoming a published author. You are living proof that your story matters. You can become a published author. And it's okay to self-publish. A lot of times we want that big book advance, and we want to to have that big um just $200,000
Right.
advance. But the truth of the matter is that if anybody put money up like the traditional publishers, then they're going to have more creative control over
Yes.
over you. And so what you want to do is, if you can self-fund your dream, always self-fund your dream first. Because if someone put the money up for your dream, they're going to have more control over your dream than you, because it's their money. But if you self-publish and you self-fund it, it's definitely okay. 50 Shades of Grey was self-funded. And you see now that it's a major movie, but she actually tried to go to publishers and they turned her down.
And they turned her down. Can you believe it?
They turned her down, and then they had to come back and offer her a deal once they seen how good the book is. So never put your validation in anyone else's hands but the Lord's. Okay, never let anyone make you feel like your creativity is not worthy to be displayed. So Aisha asked, do you have a published package? Do you have a package? I do. So here's the thing. We just started a new campaign. Like, this is fresh off the press. And it's called Publishing During the Pandemic. And so you can visit sophisticatedpress.com. And when you visit there, you're going to see one package that is available. And with that package, I'm going to put this here for you now. With that package, you all, we have it where you only can put down $100. Now, mind you, that is a great way
That
and
is that is incredible.
to remove all excuses. For $100, you can start your publishing package, and then it's $200 monthly payments. And I guarantee you it's so worth it. So we just literally are starting our coaching program. It's called Publishing During the Pandemic. And for $100, you can join this coaching program. And what you will receive is 2 group writing sessions in person, where all of our authors are going to come together twice a month and we're going to write together. You're going to receive daily motivated author texts. You're going to receive branded mock-ups for any product, service, or book that you're working on. And then you're also going to receive a free book that's going to help you. It's a workbook. It's going to help you schedule your writing, and it's going to give you a bunch of resources as an author. So definitely, Aisha, visit us at sophisticatedpress.com. Set up your discovery call the same way Nichole did, and we can
Yes.
definitely, even if you just know your book concept and you really don't have anything written down yet, whatever stage you're in, we'll be able to help you. Okay. Thank you for that question. Well, Tamikca, I want to thank you so much for sharing your book. I'm so excited for it. I can't wait to see your second book.
I'm
And I
excited.
I know it's going to be more and more to come. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And you know how we end it here at Sophisticated Press. Listen, we love you so much with the love of Jesus Christ. We are so, so, so proud of you. And we know you can do it. Have a wonderful day, you all.
Have a great day,